Hello and welcome. We are on day 2 of patch 9.2.7. Yesterday was kind of crazy, but let's check that mailbox and get after it. Alright, looking at my mailbox from yesterday, it looks pretty insane, but honestly, it's not. So 368,000 in there. However, I didn't really make much of anything yesterday. Everything was too crazy, nothing was of any value. All I really did was post anything that I currently had. I just reposted everything just to sell it yesterday. As you can tell, I sold basically all of my heavy desolate leather. Pretty much all of it sold at a good price for the most part. Yeah, it was pretty much all profit, so that's really good. We spent 268,000 on it. I think I netted probably close to a little over 300,000 just from the heavy desolate. However, I've used some of it for crafting and I still have like a couple thousand of it left. So at the end of the day, we made profit. We even kept some. Everything turned out wonderfully. I did jump on last night and make like 100 flasks of power just because I saw briefly that it looked like I was able to make like 30 gold profit on each of them, but it wasn't. I don't know if it was really even worth it. So I sold all of them for about 28.5. I think I spent like, I don't know. I'm pretty sure I spent like 25 or so on craft on like just buying the mats. So it's like I netted like 3k profit. But then as I looked throughout the night and checked on it, like the margins were getting lower and lower to where when I did the math, it was like a 5 gold difference between buying the goods and crafting. I'm like, who the hell is going to sit here and craft 100 flasks at potentially 5 gold profit? But we'll talk about in that today's video. I have a lot of things I want to talk about. I need to try to make it quick. But yeah, as we look at the auction house, this is just the things that I had left over from the day before. I did no actual crafting. This is mostly just selling my heavy desolate, and I guess I technically crafted 100 flasks. That's it. So our total is at 2,811,000. Let's go ahead and open the mail and check out our new wonderful total. There we are. New total is 3,180,000. So pretty good. I'm happy with that. Too bad it's not going to go up quite as quickly as it used to, but yeah, I'm salty. Let's go do the covenant tables. We have a lot to talk about in today's video. To be honest, I'm pretty salty, pretty upset, frustrated about the changes. I don't think they're going to be good at all. I can see some good in it, luckily, and we'll talk about that, but I want to get the negatives off my chest first. However, it's probably going to be a little bit easier to get the negatives off the chest while I'm at the auction house so I can show you a couple things. So we'll probably do that here in a bit once I get done with my covenant tables. A couple quick side notes. With the changes in crafting material prices, I don't know if sending out any like missions on your table is worth. I don't think any of them's worth it. Definitely like cooking and fishing are not going to be worth it at all. Those weren't really worth it before. And you could have argued that none of the other ones were worth the anima spent, though. I'm going to do them anyway just to get some extra money and some extra materials in. But honestly, it's probably not a bad idea to just not send out followers for crafting materials anymore. It's kind of just a personal opinion. Second thing is, if like let's say if you do send things out and get like equipment, you're also almost always better off just selling the item to the vendor. This for 89 gold. Like, you're not going to get 89 gold disenchanting it anymore. It's not going to happen. So lost a lot of money that way, or the random greens or things you find out in the world while you're messing around. Yep, probably all just vendor fodder now. I am at my last covenant table, and I went to take a look at which callings are today. We have the trifecta. Anybody who's seeing this video on this day, get out there and do the callings on every character you can. We have Maldraxxus, Rare Resources, and Maldraxxus. That does mean I will be doing every single calling on all characters today. That does equal an awful lot of gold, Let's say at the low end 1,500 per, which really it's more like 1,800 to 2,000. But like even if it was 1500, you're talking about 4500 gold plus whatever the missions are out there. So if we take a look, what do we got? We have, well, you have the main boss. So that also means you can get all your characters out there to kill whatever the main boss is. That'll get you some extra anima if you need it. And then like you could do something like this. Might take a little bit longer to do, but it gives you a little bit of extra gold. That's usually what I would do, is something like this. Unless there's some like extremely easy ones. But usually it's like I'll do the extra gold ones too. If I have to go out there and do missions, I'd prefer to do ones for anima or gold just so I can keep up on it. But you know, you can do a couple gold ones. You can go ahead and kill the boss. You can get probably the it's my favorite zone for the rare resources, because like the sprouts or whatever they're called, the ones that are on top of the mushroom, they usually always give you like either an item to like a green or blue or something. But they usually also give like 250 gold or something per. So I usually, if there's any of those sprout ones that are just on top of the mushroom, I will, no matter what, gather all of those and then just complete whatever quests I need to do. So I'm going to make a lot of gold today from doing that, but it's definitely going to be time consuming. So yeah, get after it. Callings, all in the same zone. Let's go. Back on the bank alt, let's talk about this new auction house. First of all, let's go ahead and pretend everything's normal, right? Let's go to TSM, let's restock. I know TSM is probably not working correctly, but I can still show you a couple things. Actually, these are showing profit. That's a little bit odd. But you can see just by looking at this list, like, you know, let's mark off the things I don't normally make. It's not showing me anything from alchemy. It's not showing me almost any like stackable material. It is showing me the shaded stuff, but pretty much nothing that's an actual stackable item is here. It is literally just showing basically gear. And that kind of answers the question. I don't think that if you're crafting anything, like let's say the Spectral Flask of Power, it's one of those things that I've made good gold. On average, I was selling them at like 350 gold. That was my average on high end of like 720. Like, you know, I was always able to do that, or the Heavy Desolate kits. Well, let's take a look at the Spectral Flask of Power. That takes 4 of each flower except for Nightshade, where I think it takes 3. So if you do, let's do some quick math together. So like, let's say that's 20, so that's 80 gold. Let's just say that's 15, so 60, so 80 and 60, you got 140. 140 plus another 60, so you have 200, technically a couple less. You have 200, and then where's the last one? Oh, right there. 200, and then like let's say these are 8. 200, then another 32, so you have 232 plus 9, let's say that, so 241, but it's so like let's say 245 gold. So approximately 245 gold to make the Spectral Flask of Power, if you can actually buy at those prices, by the way. Like I can click on here and look, there's 10 at this price, and then they go up. But some of them might be more drastic than that. I didn't actually click in on each of these and check, but I will. I'll click on a couple of them and see if that's actually the case. Oh yeah, like, well, there's some really cheap marrow root, but I didn't do the prices based on that. Anyway, long story short, let's see, it did cost you 240, but that means each one of these flasks you make, you're making an 8 gold profit. So you have to go through the time and buy all the goods. That's going to take you 5 or 6 minutes, right? You got to mail them over. You got to then spend, what is it, 2 to 3 seconds crafting each one of these, you know? So you spend 5, 6, 7 minutes to make 8 gold profit per. So even if you bought enough to do 100 flasks, and if you sold them all at this price, mind you, you know, you're looking at making like 800 gold, but it's going to take you 10 minutes. Like, it's going to take you 10 minutes to do that, send them back over, post them. It's going to take you probably somewhere around 10 minutes at 800 gold, right? So when you start doing the math, that's not an awful lot of gold per hour. That's actually relatively low. At least what used to be relatively low. But the other problem is, what ends up happening is other people are doing the same thing. And they might see it and they might post it. And these prices are changing so fast that just doing a quick like refresh and the price has changed. Just constantly. That's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. I used to be able to come and look at something like this flask on the auction house and see, oh man, it's selling at 380, and I kind of knew in my head that it usually cost me anywhere between about 280 and 320 typically. So I knew that there was a chance at profit. I would do the quick math and be like, awesome, I need to go out and hurry, and make 100 and 150 of these flasks so I can get them up here before the price changes. And it wasn't too bad because it was server based, so more than likely I'd be able to get mine up there and hopefully get some of them or all of them sold at that good price. Kind of like back when I sold them for 720 because somebody flipped the market. That's not going to happen now. The prices, the profits are pushed so low that you could argue, well, there's still profit there. Sure. There's 5 to 10 gold profit per. But for the amount of time it takes to gather the goods, craft the items, and then post them, you're almost better off just going out and, playing the game, I guess. Going out into the world and just killing mobs normally or whatever. You're probably going to pick up more raw gold and materials and, maybe get a green item drop that you can sell to the vendor. You're probably going to make more gold doing that than you are sitting here trying to make flasks or kits or something at such a small amount of profit. And that's the thing I'm upset with. Why do I want to spend that much time and that much effort, when a couple things can happen again? Somebody can come in here and instantly flip the prices, whether that's on the materials you need. Maybe you did the math one way, and as you're going through and buying, by the time you got to lightless, all of a sudden they're a gold more, or whatever. With the prices changing so drastically, and the price is so close to the item you're making, especially for something like this, I don't know if it's worth making anything like this whatsoever. Because there's a high likelihood that by the time you got to it, and by the time you posted it, one, the price would be changed, potentially lower, to where maybe that 5 gold that you were making you're not anymore, or 10 gold, or whatever it is. Yeah, long story short, I'm pretty upset about something like craftable goods. The only point I'm really trying to make as I look into items like the flask or something like that is the margins are so close that most of the time it's not going to be worth it. It does look like, looking at heavy desolate armor kits right now, that it technically probably would be worth the time, just given that for 8 times 8, 64, plus the thread. So even if the thread costs you like 35, you're looking at about around 99. So you can make 10 gold profit if the price doesn't change by the time you make them. More often than not, I think the amount of money you can make off of anything that's stackable or is a trade good is just going to be so low that it's not worth your time. I feel really bad for people who actually enjoyed farming, just going out and, finding a certain herb, finding, whether it was old world or not, finding, oh man, marrow root selling. I've done it. Marrow root selling really good on my server. Let's go out and farm some. As you can see, I've sold some at 71 gold before because somebody flipped the market. I'm like, cool, somebody flipped the market. I'm going to go out and farm some for a while and post it and try to make some money off of it. Good luck doing anything like that before. The amount of gold you could make per hour farming before has damn near just been halved for the most part with how much the prices have dropped. So those people are going to be making a lot less gold. Any generic farmer, or if you're making consumables like I am, this hurts my gold income absurdly. But there's some positives, and there's some things we can do. And now I'm going to talk about that and stop so much complaining. So let's talk about some positives that I see on the market. One, the token has actually risen a lot. It had dropped to like 185. It went up to like a little over 200, and then it dropped down to like 185, and then now it's back. It's fluctuating like mad, and it has everything to do with how insane this market is. But I have a feeling, hear me out, I have a feeling that this is going to be a good thing. So what's going to end up happening is the general Joe Schmo, who's working 40 hours a week plus, just going about his life. They're, like me, they're not going to be able to make the gold that they used to. So what are they going to do? They're going to say, screw this. Gold is harder to make. This is a pain in the ass. I don't want to do it. What's their easy answer? It's buying a WoW token. It's going into that Blizzard store, and it is purchasing that $20 WoW token because they know that they can just come here and sell it for gold. Right? Well, how is that good for us? Well, with less gold and more supply of the WoW token, this price is not going to go up. It should go down. Because people aren't making as much gold, and there's too many people buying WoW tokens, so the overall cost is going to be lower. So, yeah, that potentially could be a good thing. This could help drive down the price of a gold token now. Because, yeah, just pure supply and demand. More people not willing to farm gold. The overall gold is going to be lower. There's going to be more people wanting to do tokens, which is going to mean that the price per token is going to be lower. So that's something to watch. That's something to watch. But that's me going out on a limb and saying, I think the average price of this is going to come down fairly quickly over the next couple weeks. And I have some other thoughts on that. Like, the whole reason I'm making gold is so that I can buy WoW tokens, and I'm kind of eyeing the time where I think buying tokens is going to be the best. And I do think that's going to be like the last week of August. Alright, so I'm going to quickly answer the question on, it's like, well, with these auction house changes, what should you do? What should you craft? What should you sell? How are you going to make money? And I think the answer is really obvious, unfortunately. And that is, if it's not a stackable good, you can probably make money on it on your server. For instance, bags. Bags don't, they're not stackable. They're server specific. With the drop in prices, specifically on like lightless cloth and stuff like that, you can make them a lot cheaper. So there's a good chance you can sell them for a little bit more, at least right now, until people catch on, and then they drag down the price of the damn bags too. But this kind of stuff, like bags, even, the party hat, here's just like the level 60 gear that I typically make, the novice gear, like all that kind of stuff is going to have a profit still, because it's all server based, and that's it, because it's server based. I have some plans here to make like these are like the 262 pieces. I have talked about in previous videos how I didn't like those on my server. I made a couple and they took far too long to sell, and I don't like waiting. Unfortunately, I don't think I have a choice. I think if I want to make gold, I'm going to have to make this kind of stuff and hope to God it works out. So that's kind of what we're going to do today, is I am going to make a bit of the 262 gear that I can make on my tailor, and I'm going to see if I can actually make profit off of it. That's all I can do, to be honest. Because if it wasn't for that, I don't have a whole lot of options. My options are making beginner level 60 gear, and that's about it. That and bags. And then right now, for some reason, shaded whetstones are a profit, time consuming for not very much money, basically. I don't have another answer. Like that's what it is. You need to focus on something that you can craft that's not stackable. That's more than likely the item that you're going to have to make a profit. to go along with that, one of the other things, which is one of the issues I have with this patch, because it's more of the rich get richer, mounts. You know, things like the Chopper, things like Vial of the Sands, Sky Golem. The people who are already been making these, they're really happy. Because cost of goods has gone down. They can make crap cheaper. They can still sell those mounts that not everybody is on the market, and it's server specific. So those people, those people are making gold. Those people are not having an issue making gold. Which is a bit frustrating, because in all honesty, those are the rich, right? So the rich are getting richer. The rich are fine. Whether you have transmog items or like rare transmog things that you can make, like, you know, for BC or whatever craftable transmog you have, those people are all still going to be fine. Their stuff is going to be easier to craft. Mounts, things of that nature, especially the crafted ones, easier to craft. More than likely, you're going to be able to make more profit initially until everybody starts fighting with each other, and then they could potentially drag down the price of those markets even. Yeah, those really are our options right now. You better find some good that you can craft that's not stackable. The gold per hour is down. You got to find a way to fix that. It's crafting items that are server based. It is doing stuff like covenant tables. Before we get off the auction house, let me show you something. This new auction house is promoting some pretty degenerate stuff like this, where people post an item, like Shrouded Cloth in this instance, for 2 silver, because they're trying to get noobs to just quick sell their items, and then they post a huge stack at 2 silver and you quickly buy it out. People are sitting here and they're doing this, and they're just refreshing, and they're refreshing, and one person will do that. They'll post an item like this at 10 silver, and then you go to buy it 1, it's going to be gone. Boom, it's gone, right? But that's not what they're doing it for. They're posting at this lower price to try to bait people into accidentally posting. And I did it yesterday, by the way. I did it yesterday. Granted, thank God it was only a stack of like 1,000 of the. It was only a stack of the 1,000 of the Heavy Desolate, and it was like one of my last. And I was just trying to sell it because I saw that the prices were starting to tank a bit. So I was trying to post it at like 11 gold per, and I ended up posting a stack of 1,000 at 11 gold. So, you know, I lost out on like 10k plus gold. And that's what they're trying to do. They're baiting somebody into making a mistake by doing this bullshit of posting something super low and try to bait. And if you sit here and just refresh, like I have all this stuff on my favorites. So like I can just sit here and click this and refresh my favorites and look to snipe somebody who posts something too cheap. It is absolutely awful. Boom, like that. Like, look at that. There was 193 there. You know, at like 1 gold, when it really goes for like 2 something. And that's all people are doing. It's awful. Like, why would Blizzard do this? This is not fun for anybody. It's not even fun for the gold maker, who is just sitting here trying to bait people into, you know, so that they can snipe, you know, stacks of items and make 100 gold. It is absolutely degenerate, and it sucks that this stuff, I saw it yesterday really bad with Lightless Silk, and guess what? We're all seeing the same thing. So if anybody else out there, you probably saw the same thing, of picking some of these items and baiting people into posting low so that they can snag it. It's awful, because then it makes it hard, like when you're using TSM and doing other things, to really know what the real prices are. Because there's crap like that. Like you saw Pallid Bone jump up to 10 silver because, you know, some douchebag is out there and posting like 1 at 10 silver every like 30 seconds and then mad refreshing trying to snipe items. But this problem is just going to get worse as people figure out that that's a way that they can make gold. Because this ends up becoming almost lucrative because the gold per hour that you can make is so low now. It's almost lucrative to do that because all of a sudden, if somebody posts like 1,000 of it and you bought it out and you just made 1,000 gold because you clicked quicker, you know, there's your new gold making method, guys. Post your pallid bones at 1 silver. 1 silver a pop. All you got to do is snipe a couple snacks. You know, you'll make your money. You know, Widow Bloom at 48, trying to get people to put up here at a cheaper price. Look at that. Somebody did. So, see, there was 34 there. You know, like, I know that's only 34, but, like, still, like, that dude just made, like, a couple hundred gold. For whoever sniped it. You got somebody. How is this okay? This is a better auction house? This is better? I mean, I know this happened on your servers before, but this is just going to be the way things are now. It sucks. I hate these changes. Alright, I am back on the bank call. I went ahead and just made everything I was going to make today. I just kind of wanted to show you what I made. So, essentially, I just made the shrouded, like, beginner level 50 pieces. You know, the fresh level 50 pieces. And then I made some of the 262 gear. This is something I'm just going to try out. I only have the ability right now to make it on my tailor, but I think I have the rep to where I can make it on like like blacksmithing and stuff too. I just have to go out and buy the recipe. But for now, I'm just making a few of these pieces, and you know, if I can sell a couple, yeah, that'll let me know that I should probably do it on my other crafters, my leatherworker, my blacksmith as well. So I made a few of those more as a trial instead of just making one. And then other than that, you have more of the generic crafted gear again, because I think it's going to be really hard to make good profits on anything that's stackable. I do have a little bit of stackable here, but that's because when I looked at it myself, there really was a slight amount of profit. So I just made some. I really didn't need to. And then I have some heavy desolate armor kits just because I had some left over of that heavy desolate, so I figured why not? I already have all the materials sitting here, so I just made some. But that's about it. Not a whole lot that I made other than bags, but again, bags are an item that's not stackable, so at least early on these first couple days, there probably some pretty good profit there. And that's about it. That's about it. I gotta figure some things out for sure. Alright, we are done for the day, at least for posting. Again, I only made items really that were not stackable. TSM's not working really well. Once it is, I do believe I can still potentially, as long as I'm cancel scanning, making sure that, God forbid, if one of those 262 items or something sells, that it's mine and not somebody else's, I could potentially be making some gold. But it's definitely not going to be the same. We're definitely going to have to pivot hard. It's something I'm going to have to watch every day just to make sure. But I have a feeling that this is the way it's going to be, and it's probably not going to get any better. I'm probably going to start just sending over dang near any mats that aren't typically used to make items that are like server based. Like, let's say herbs. I'm probably going to just start sending any little bit of that I get just straight to my bank vault and just not even bother with that kind of stuff anymore and just post it and get the pennies I can get. Yeah, I'm pretty sad. I'm pretty sad. We are not going to make the money we did, but we're gonna try to find a way. We're going to find a way to get back to at least making a good gold income. Right now, my suggestion to all of you new gold makers out there is to make sure you're doing your covenant tables, because it has now even more bang for your buck. Make sure you stay on top of your covenant tables, and then when things do line up to, like, you know, let's say, and you have time, to like where there's 2 callings in one zone, you really, unfortunately, need to do it. And maybe that's Blizzard's idea as well, is I'm now going to have to take longer to make gold, and I'm going to be playing the game by going out and doing callings instead of doing crafting and posting. You know, maybe that's their plan. I don't know. But today, for instance, it kind of sucks because I'm going to be playing an awful lot of WoW today. But in terms of gold making, I almost have to. You have 3 callings in the same zone. 2 in Maldraxxus and then 1 that's treasures. You can do those all in the same zone. 6K per character times 14 characters. 6 times, 6 times 10, that's 60K, and then you have the other 24, that's 84K. So I'm going to be pulling 85 to 100K just doing my callings. If I do all my callings on all my characters, which again, hey, get out of my shot. Which again is kind of time consuming and annoying, but unfortunately it might be worth it given how hard it's going to be to come up with gold now, at least for me. So I'm going to attempt to do all that today. So we will see. But with that, thanks for watching this extended length video. Just kind of go over thoughts on day 2 and where things look for me now, where things might look for you. I'm really, really interested to hear other people's opinions on how things are. Are they making more? Are they making less? Have they found a way to make gold? I again really think the answer is making server-based items, and it's just finding the right ones for you. I think that's just what we have to do for now. But with that, thanks for watching. Please sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know how your patch is going, how it's going for you. Let me know anything I can do better. Let me know what kind of content you want to see. I've already got a couple great comments letting me know, a couple things that people want to see in videos that honestly I'm going to try to do for you guys. So please feel free to reach out. Let me know how you're feeling. Let me know what you want to see, and I will see you next time.